Everybody, and welcome to my very exciting broadcast all about head torches. So tonight I'm going to be showing you the whole range of head torches from Silva and Petzl so that you can make a more informed choice about which head torch is the best for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just do a little bit of chat and just catch up with all the patrons. Then I'm going to talk about the head torches. I've got 4 Petzl torches and 4 Silva head torches. They're going to go head to head for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to answer all the patron questions. So let's just see who's there on the live at the moment. I'm just going to put up the overlays window here so I can see what you're all saying. There we go. Right, okay, fantastic. So we've got about 20 people watching at the moment, and Alex DeHotto says hello. Hello, Alex. I've got your question ready and waiting for later. So I just wondered if anybody was listening last week to the broadcast. Adam Smith from Adam Smith Rehab and Injury was on. So I just wondered if anybody's done any strength training since then. I have been doing strength training this morning. I was doing my strength training. I went to a class by Keith Reed, who's a trail and fell runner who actually lives locally to me, and he's in my running club. And he was getting us to do all these really crazy exercises. There was one with a hoop where you had to put it on the floor and then hop into it and then bend down, pick it up, throw it and hop again. So I think that I'm going to do some video work with Keith as well to bring you those strength training and those balance training moves as well. So that was really good. I hope you've all been doing your strength training since our interview with Adam last week. I know some of you have been racing, so I'm just going to do a little patron shout out because there's been tons of you doing some really cool stuff, and I even met some of you over the weekend. So let's have a look at what we've been doing. So first of all, those of you will have seen his excellent pictures on the Facebook group. So Mehul has been doing the Ring of Stell Sky Race. So this is Mehul after doing that race, and he had the most gigantic bit of cake in the world. I was very jealous. I had to take a picture of that cake. And also I saw Sean Lockhart. So I just bumped into him outside the event village at Skyline Scotland. He was doing the 18k trail race, the 3 meals, and he's got some brilliant pictures on the patron Facebook group as well. So well done to Sean for doing that. Then Rob Jordan has been doing a race called the Brewood Woggle, and he had race bib number 1, so that's awesome. He looks great in that race bib, number 1. Well done to Rob there. And John Butler has been doing the Snowdon Marathon. He's just said one comment on there. He just put Snowdon Marathon very hard. So go and check him out on Strava, see how he got on. And if you are a patron, you can join the Strava exclusive Facebook club as well. So Guy Greatorex has been injured recently, so he's been checking out podcasts, which is a really good thing to do if you are injured. So let's just see what Guy's been listening to here. He really recommends this podcast. So it's about Tom and Brian Williams, whose dream is to do the Comrades. So it's a really moving podcast, and Guy says it's the best one he's listened to in ages. So absolutely fantastic. Give that all a listen. So that's a really nice recommendation. Thank you very much, Guy. Then Guy also wanted me to do a shout out to Abby, she's at just to my left in this picture. She's just here. See. Oh, I can't get my hand to point. But Abby is doing the 12k in Snowdonia this weekend, and Guy is also going to do that race as well. He was going to do the half marathon, but he's been injured recently, so he's dropped down to the 12. And Abby is also doing the 12. So good luck to both of those at the 12k in Snowdonia this weekend. That's absolutely fantastic. I hope you have a really great time, guys. And then Emily Jacobs, just to bring us back around nicely to what we're talking about tonight. Emily Jacobs had a question on the Facebook group, the patron exclusive Facebook group, and she wants to chat about head torches, which is what we're doing tonight. She wants to know what's everyone using because she's currently using the Petzl Actik. I do have an Actik tonight, so we'll be looking at that there. She says it's just not bright enough for trail. But she loves the batteries and they last forever. It's perfect for road runs. So that's really interesting. That's brought up something right at the start, like how bright do you need a head torch to be for trail running? So absolutely fantastic. So there's some great chat going. Hi to everybody on the live chat. It's great to have you listening and watching. So yep, hey, I'll just do a few shout outs before I get into the review. So hi Alex, hi Guy, Graham, Leon, Abby, Bivouac Photography, Paul, Graham, and Nemric, Kev JH, got a question, your question as well, Kev. Ian Grimshaw said, Ian Grimshaw, he says, oh, as if I didn't work hard enough at the Ring of Stealth Sky at the Skyline Scotland this weekend. He says he's disappointed that I didn't interview the car park staff at Kinloch Leven on Saturday. They ran the furthest and they were the busiest of anyone on the Ring of Stealth Day. Yes, well, I can totally corroborate that fact, Ian. I think you do work really, really hard, and just massive kudos to anybody who marshalled or helped in any way that wasn't actually running on the Skyline Scotland, because it was an absolutely amazing weekend, and it just wouldn't happen without all you guys, so massive kudos to you. Rainman Smith, yeah, he agrees with the cake and wants to know if I'm running the Lizard Point Marathon at Southwest Outdoor Festival. Yes, I'm going to be at Southwest Outdoor Festival next weekend, and I'm going to do the half marathon distance. I was considering the 10k because I'm feeling a little bit tired after everything that's gone on this summer, but then I thought, no, everyone's going to expect me to run faster in the 10k and it'll be harder to film, so I'm going to do the half marathon, which will be a lovely coastal run. So if anybody's down there, then do come and say hi to me. I'll be doing a talk at 1 p.m. in the main kind of teepee where all the talks are on the Sunday as well, so do come and listen to that as well. And Abby Norman has said thank you to Guy for the shout out. So yeah, just good luck to Abby and also to Guy in the 12k on the weekend. Absolutely fantastic. So loads of other people checking in. It's really great to see everybody, and we've already got some suggestions as to how many lumens that people want on the trails. So Graham Howes is saying at least 250 lumens. Yes, I would agree. I would even say like 300, maybe even 350 if you're going really fast and it's really technical. But we will get to that in just a second. Lots of people checking in. Fantastic. Okay, so we've got a good amount of people raring to go. I've been through who's been strength training, I've been strength training, I've been through who's been racing, so now head torches. So you probably want to know why I'm just going through the whole range of Petzl and Silva head torches today in this live broadcast, because in the past I've featured other head torches as well, and the reason I'm doing that is because they are the two market leaders in the running and hiking industry. There are other head torches around, so I have previously tried LED Lenser, I've tried Alpkit, I've also tried stuff from Exposure Lights as well. Exposure Lights are more kind of for the mountain bike market. They do lower levels of brightness too, but they do specialize in those really super like 1,000 lumen bike lights for bikes, so that's why I haven't gone for them. LED Lenser, I just never find them as good as Petzl or Silva, so I haven't used one of those. If you want to look at LED Lenser torches, there is a review of the M11 which has an app which goes with it. That's elsewhere on the channel. I've also linked to that in the description below. I've also tried the Alpkit torches because I think a lot of people are constrained by budget. They want something maybe 30 quid, maybe below 50 quid maximum, that kind of thing. And Alpkit is a great bet for that. However, I've tried a few Alpkit torches and they're just not as comfy as the Petzl and the Silva head torches. So if you want a review which does include Alpkit head torches as well, then do check out the description below, and there is a link to when I've compared Silva and Petzl and Alpkit at the same time. So that's why I'm not comparing anything but Silva and Petzl. The other thing you could do is, like, I know some people recently have done this, you can buy ones at garages and you can buy them for like a tenner at a garage, or you can buy cheap ones from like online from overseas. The thing with those is that you just don't know whether you can trust them or not. Like, you don't know whether you can trust the lumen output that they say that they have. That's the measure of brightness that we use for head torches. And you don't know, they're sometimes heavier, they're a bit more clunky, the build quality isn't as good, and this is the main thing really. You don't know whether you can trust that recharge that they've got going on with the wiring. At Glenmore Lodge a couple of years ago, somebody had a cheap head torch and they left it on charge overnight or while they went out in their little room in Glenmore Lodge, and it actually started a fire because once it was fully charged, it didn't have a disconnect mode built into it, so it just kept charging. It just got really hot and it burnt the place down. So that's why you definitely need a trustworthy head torch. And not just that as well, you need, like, if you're wearing a head torch, you need to see, don't you? Like, if you're at the top of the mountain, you don't want it to conk out on you. So you need, a head torch is one thing that you shouldn't scrimp on, I would say, and you just want to make sure that it's good quality. So, I've got a few tables as well. I've been really geeky with the stats, so I think you're going to really enjoy this this broadcast. I'm going to speak for about 10 or so minutes, just reviewing each head torch. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to review. I'm going to review two at a time, like the ones that are sort of versus each other, and then I'm just going to check if there's any questions each time as well, so that I can keep track of everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the lowest price ones, and I'm going to go higher. Hope everyone's okay with that. And just a bonus, I have pronounced Graham Howe's surname correctly. Not many people do. Oh, well, how else would you pronounce that? Howes? I had a teacher at school who used to teach German. German and French teachers called Mr. and Mrs. Howes, so that is why I know the name. How would you else pronounce it? Hose? Fantastic. Okay, right. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the two lowest price ones. So I need to get my, I've been really geeky and I've got like a massive spreadsheet about all of these because I can't remember everything about all the details. So the first one, okay, so it's going to be the Petzl Tikka and the Silva Scout XT, and I've been super geeky, and I've also made myself a little thing. Well done me. Okay, so I've got Petzl on this side, Silva on this side. So this is the Petzl Tikka. Slight confession to make with this one. Okay, so they didn't send me the newest one, so this is my old one, but they look the same. Okay, so I'm just going to use this for the purpose of talking about it. I don't think I'm going to do much kind of turning them on and shining them at you because you won't be able to tell the difference particularly because I'm basically shining them in your face. This is an old one, so you can't really compare it to this one. But I do know for a fact that Petzl and Tikka both use the same science to measure their lumens, so we can be pretty certain that what they say they are is correct. So the Petzl Tikka, this one here, is £32 retail price. I'm going to quote retail prices so that it's all similar across the board. You can obviously find them online for different prices, and I've also linked to all these head torches in the description below on Amazon. I'd prefer personally if you went and bought them from and supported your local independent running store, for example Ellis Brigham or Up and Running or Runner's Need or any of those stores, but I have just put Amazon links on there for anyone who doesn't mind shopping at Amazon because it gives me a tiny kickback, but I'd rather you supported independent running stores, if I'm being totally honest. So the Petzl Tikka, £32. It weighs about 82 grams and it's got 300 lumens. You can put 3 AAA batteries into this, or you can use the Petzl Core, which is a battery that Petzl makes specifically, and it can go into several of their torches. So I'm going to show you the Core just now. It's not actually in that one because it's an old one, but if I'll show you from this torch. I'll just pull it out and show you. So this is the Petzl Core, and it takes the place of 3 AAA batteries, and you can just see it's got a micro USB charging point in there, and a micro USB charging point looks a little bit like this. That's the USB, obviously, that you plug into the wall, and then that is your charger. So that is what it looks like. So you can either use that or you can use the AAA batteries. So the Petzl Tikka just has normal lighting. Oh, I need to put this back in the right way around. Okay, so that's the core that I've shown you. So the Petzl Tikka doesn't have reactive lighting. I'll come on to reactive lighting as we get into the larger head torches, because that's something that I definitely want to talk about. It's got 65 meters beam length and 2 hours of lighting. Or it's got another mode as well. It's got 100 lumens, which I don't think is good enough for trail running, 40 meters beam length, and it runs for 9 hours on that setting. It's also got an emergency light setting, which is 6 lumens, which will basically just help you get down walking from wherever you are. And that's a 10 meter beam, and that will run for 120 hours. It's also got a red light, which it goes on constant, and strobe too. And it's also, if you hold it down, it will do a flashing white light as well. So with one of these, it's 300 lumens, so you can conceivably run on trails with this head torch. So if you're if you're starting off trail running, this is a really good option for you just to start with, because it will give you just enough light on its maximum setting for a 2-hour run on fairly traily, tricky terrain. I'd probably want a little bit more like 500 lumens to do really rocky, gnarly technical stuff. And then if you're navigating, probably maybe sometimes a little bit more, like the ability to boost to kind of 750, that kind of thing, so that you can really see like styles across fields and stuff like that. But this is a really good entry-level torch. It's super light at around 80 grams. It's really, really inexpensive at 32 grams, and it's really comfortable as well and easy to adjust. So it just adjusts like so. It doesn't go too far down, like it points kind of just here, but with some of the silver ones that you'll see in future reviews, you can actually swivel them like all the way down. So I'm not sure why you'd want to look right at your feet. So this is generally fine. I find this fine. This is the kind of torch I use at running club, like running on the roads as well, because it's just really simple and straightforward. So yeah, that's how it works. And then the competitor to that is the Scout XT. So this is Silva's version of that. So it's £36, tiny bit more expensive, but online, when you're looking for things online, you usually they sort of start to even out a bit. Tiny bit heavier. It's 87 grams rather than 82 grams. What's 5 grams between friends, hey? Is a little bit brighter though, so a little bit more expensive, tiny bit more expensive, tiny bit heavier, but 20 lumens brighter. Are you going to notice 20 lumens brighter? Maybe. And it lasts for 30 hours with 3 AAA batteries. So it's got really similar specs, but it lasts for a lot longer. So it will, the silver one is 320 lumens, which for 60 meters, and that'll go for 30 hours. So that's really amazing, because considering the Petzl one went for 300 lumens, and that was 65 meters for 2 hours. So a lot longer battery life on the silver. Then it's got a 50 lumen setting, which is 30 meter beam length for 70 hours. So that's kind of like a get you down the hill type of setting as well. So yeah, this one lasts for a lot longer, but there is a downside to this torch. So see this one, it clicks down and up like that. I'm just going to show you this one, because when I've been running with this one, it just disappointed me a little bit. It's got a similar down and up motion, but this one goes all the way down, and it's not very tight. Like it's a bit loose with its flipping up and down. So if you're, say, running along like this, and you jump over something, I've just been jumping over stuff, and like literally I was just testing this out around the garden just a minute ago, and if you jump hard enough, it will just fall like that, and that can blind you. It's really annoying. It's very uncomfortable. So maybe they're not all like this, but it's just a bit loose, especially that last bit there. And I just for that reason would go for, at this level, I would maybe choose the Petzl, even though that battery life is not as long. Oh, it's a really tough one to call. Actually, I'd probably go for this one because the battery life is a lot longer. And probably if you were to get another one, it probably wouldn't do that. Maybe they've just sent me one which it just isn't as, just that design in there. It's just not quite as, I don't know, it's just a bit loose. It's a bit loose compared to the one with Petzl. It really feels like it clicks into place a bit better. It really does. That's just, you can't really see in there, but it's just a lot harder to move, and the torch itself prevents it from going any further down, whereas with this one it can go all the way down like that. So yeah, a little bit of a downside there for the Silva Scout XT. And I'm sure their PR is going to get in touch with me and go, oh no, you just got a faulty one. But yeah, you shouldn't send a review of faulty torches. So yeah, so for that reason, I think the Petzl Tikka wins that round of the small, lightweight, kind of 30 quid type, under 100 gram head torches. And these are great for beginners. If you want to start trail running with a head torch, get one of these on your head, and then you can see what you really, really want in a trail running torch. Okay, next set of trail running torches. Oh, are there any questions? Are there any questions about those head torches? Da ba da ba da. Lots of people, lots of love for the Actik, which is good, and I'll give you some news about that in when I come to that section of the head torches. Blah 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 blah. Great. Okay. Great. Yes. Yes. Okay. So that's that done. So the next torches that I want to show you are the next level up. So let's just get my handy spreadsheet going here. And we have, in my left hand, we have the Petzl Actik. Oh no, I should put that in my right hand so that it's above the Petzl sign. Let me just, the joys of a live broadcast. So we have the Actik core. Ta-da! Look, see, I prepped it. So we have the Actik core here, and we have its nearest rival from Silva, which is the Silva Trail Runner 4. Which is here. So there, looking quite different now, aren't we? Because we have, with the Silva, there is a head torch and battery pack, and with the Petzl, we've still got just the front bit there. So I'll do a bit of comparison. So start with the Petzl again. So the Petzl Actik core is £55, whereas this Trail Runner 4 is £68, so a little bit more expensive again. Actik core is 79 grams, whereas this one is 131 grams, so a little bit expensive, a little bit heavier. Then the Actik core, the new Actik core from Petzl, is 450 lumens. The old one was 350, so that's the one that Emily Jacobs has. She has the 350 lumen one that she didn't find quite bright enough for her trail running. Whereas this silver one is 350 lumens. I would say that 350 lumens is a good level for trail running. Like, I find that running with a 350 lumen head torch is plenty bright enough for most of the things that you're going to do. So I would say that this level of head torch is for people who are quite serious about trail running. They like it, they do it a lot, they're always going about in the dark, and you're not afraid to try new trails in the dark. So let's just now run through a few of the stats with battery life, because this is very different. So we've got the Petzl Actik core. So this is with that core battery that I showed you earlier, which is just here. So you've got the Actik core in there, or you can put 3 AAAs in there should you wish. So you've got it's not reactive lighting, it's just standard lighting for both of these. And so the Petzl is 450 maximum, and that goes 90 meters beam, 2 hours for 2 hours. This one has 350 lumens, 75 meter beam for 25 hours. So again, you've got a massively longer battery time with the Silva head torch, and we're finding this throughout. also the beam pattern from both of these is different, and I'll talk a bit about that in a moment. It just depends what you prefer. So then also with Petzl, you've got 100 lumen setting as well, 45 meter beam for 8 hours, and 6 lumens for 8 meters for 130 hours. But with this one, you've got 150 lumens in comparison to 100, and 50 meters for 40 hours. So again, a lot longer with the Silva head torch. And then they've both got like a sort of a oh bum, your battery's running out setting, which is on the Petzl, it's 6 lumens for 8 meters for 130 hours. With this one, it's 50 lumens, 20 meters for 90 hours. So just tons more battery life from this, but do remember that it is a whole, maths, 50 grams heavier. So it's 50 grams heavier, and it's £13 more expensive. So sort of comparison like for like, but yeah, Silva battery life winning so far every time. I'm just going to flick up just so that you know what I'm doing here. I'm just reading from this table that I've made, so it might be helpful for you just to have a look at this stage. So the Actik core and the Trail Runner 4 were just quite near the bottom there. So I've written it all out in this table, and I'll put that in my blog as well, so you can all have a bit of a comparison there. Great, so let's just talk a little bit about comfort of wearing, and also let's talk about the beam, because the Petzl beams and the Silva beams are very different, and just depends what you prefer. So the Petzl, this 450, the new Actik core here. So again, it's a really similar design to the Tikka. It's nice, feels really safe and secure. You can twizzle it down. You can only twizzle it down that far. You can't twizzle it right down at your feet, but again, I don't know why you need to necessarily do that. You can't swivel it up at all, so if you're talking to somebody else, you have to sort of turn it sideways so you don't blind them. The Silva head torches do have a lot more of lot more swiveling going on. That's upwards, so you can swivel it upwards a little bit if you're talking to someone, or you can swivel it right down if you want to talk to someone as well. So yeah, you can do a bit more of a swivel with the Silva head torch design like that. This is really comfy, and it's a really simple design, just off and on, like just the straps are really easy to use. And if you don't like a battery on the back of your head, then this is a really nice option, especially as it's now up to 450 lumens. The Silva one is a little bit more of a faffy type of thing going on here with the battery pack. So the battery pack is looped on here, and I've got one of these, and it does sometimes ping out if you've used it for a while, but it's not really a massive issue, to be honest. It's just a little bit more complicated with what's going on, and it's got a wire going round to the battery pack. That does mean that what you've got on the front of your head is really super light, which is always nice, and it's very comfy. Like, this thing sort of curves around your forehead, so it's really nice and comfy. And then battery pack just on the back there, you can move it across so that it balances front to back, and this wire just here, it's very stretchy, so you can have that battery pack moving around where you want it to be. The other thing about Silva head torches is that they do have extension cables as well, so that you can put the battery pack in your bag, or put it like in the top of your backpack, or if you're on a bike, you can put it onto the handlebars and things like that. But with this level of this weight, 130 grams, you don't need to do that. That's absolutely fine, just to wear it like this. Okay, so just now I'm going to talk a little bit about the difference in the beam. Oh, and this is where I should have airdropped these photos to myself a lot earlier. So I'm going to try and show you the difference between the Silva and the Petzl beams, because they are different, and I can show you the packet where it's sort of, I'll just try and airdrop, but basically the Silva head torch does this, what they call intelligent lighting. So they sort of have a bit of a spotlight here going on, and then a more diffused beam around it, whereas most lights are just a light. So with the Petzl light, you just get a light, like really a really nice kind of all over even beam with the Petzl. With the Silva, you get a sort of a pool of light quite far ahead of you, and then around that you get a diffused beam. So the photos have just come through, so I'm just going to put them in. So this is the Petzl light, just there. So really nice diffused, all the same, all even. And then this is the Silva. So can you see there that there's more of a spotlight in the center? If I put those photos next to each other, maybe that will be more clear. So there's one there, and then this is the Petzl one. Right, there. So can you see the difference there? It goes up and down when I move the mouse button. There we go. Right. Okay, so you can see the difference. I'm trying to make them the same size so that it's fair. But yeah, that is on the left, just in line with the writing below. That's the Petzl Actik core. And then on the right is the Silva Trail Runner 4. So you can see that there's more of a pool, a beam of light, and it lets you see quite wide where you are right now, but not very wide further up the trail. Whereas the Petzl one, it lets you see sort of everything blanketed in light. And that can be useful for different things, really. So Silva is a company from Sweden, and they do a lot of orienteering over there. So that dot of light is really useful if you're searching for something kind of in the distance, something that you need to pick out, like a detail or an actual control point itself, or like some navigational feature. That's really useful. So you can see why they've done that there, and that's why they've called that intelligent lighting. But for some people, you might just want an even spread, because sometimes what I find is that because there's a sort of a circle of pinpointed light ahead of me with the Silva head torch, there's a sort of circle around that, and then you've got another circle of more diffused light, and so the pinpoint circle's sort of moving around, and sometimes, like, I can personally find that sometimes a little bit annoying. But then if it was going to help me pick out features a bit further away, then I wouldn't find it so annoying. And also, if you're going over really tricky terrain, like really rocky, really technical stuff, you definitely want that pinprick of light to just really light up exactly where you're about to put your feet, because you can move it, like you can move it up and down. It doesn't have to be all the way over there by the shed. It can be like right down at your feet as well, and that can be so useful in technical terrain to have that spotlight effect. So that's just something to notice between these two types of head torches. That not only are you getting longer burn times with the Silva head torches, they're a little bit more expensive and they're a little bit more heavy, but you are getting that spotlight effect as opposed to a full diffused effect. So it's kind of up to you and what kind of running you think you'll be doing. Okay, I'm just gonna just flip down and see before we move on to the arguably more exciting head torches, because they're, you know, like, as they get a bit more expensive, there's more stuff going on. The other thing to note is that these two torches are really quite simple. Like, to operate them, you just put them on, and it's like bright, brighter, brightest, and then off, like that. If you hold it down for 2 clicks, it goes red, or it goes red flashing, like that. I'm not sure how you make it go. Oh, it's doing some fun things now. So now it's on red beeping mode, and then it's back to white. I'm not sure how you make it go white flashing. I'd have to read the instructions for that. And as you know, I don't like doing that. Yeah, some of the more expensive torches, you do unfortunately have to read the instructions. But these are great. These two torches, the Petzl Actik core and the Silva Trail Runner 4, are really good for anybody who's not a beginner at trail running, but a little bit more serious, wants kind of 350 to 450 lumens. That will work for most trail runs that you do. And they're still quite like, they're not going to burn too much of a hole in your pocket at £55 and £68. So for a general all-rounders, these are a really, really good pair of head torches, and it's just whether you want that spotlight beam or a full-on beam, and what kind of battery length that you need. But if you want long battery time, Silva is winning in battery terms always. So that's those two. Then we have got the next two, which even more exciting, these two. So I have my little title. Let me just get my title. So I've got head torch mark on my head. That's a downside, isn't it? So this is really exciting because this is a new head torch that I got shown at the UTMB. Oh, I just need to see if there's any questions. Did anyone have any questions about that? I like Graham House. He says impressive info banners. Thanks, Graham. Not only did I get his name right, but he's impressed by my banners. Winning at life today. KevJH says the Actik is what he uses. Yes. I think the Actik is a perfect head torch for most things. Guy Greytrex says, do you find the battery on the back annoying? I find they slip down. Yeah, sometimes if it's heavy. So the one just here, it doesn't tend to slip down. It's also got this rather nice sort of anti-slip stuff on it, so it kind of grabs your hair and it doesn't slip down too much. But when they're heavier, they are, and I'm going to show you with the last set of head torches, I'll show you a nifty trick to stop them doing that. I'm very aware that I've got a big red mark on my head now. Hey, looking good. Okay, so yeah, lots of chat. That's good. Yes, do talk amongst yourselves about opinions on head torches. Because yes, I haven't tried every single head torch out there. So yep. Alex Dehotto saying he's had battery pack ones before and the balance was really comfortable. So yeah, it depends what you like. And some interesting things here. Antonio Cardinelli likes to use a hand torch for slow running. Yeah, I have a friend of mine who uses a head torch and a hand torch, because the head torch is just like general lighting, and then if there's any kind of difficult bits, she'll shine the hand torch on. But I don't personally like that because I like to have my hands free for either having a map or holding a GoPro or taking a photo or falling over. Very important. Fab. Lots of people chatting about battery packs and torches. This is good. I'm going to get onto this in a minute. And Guy Greytrex makes a very good point that you can buy bigger batteries for any Silva head torches. Yes, maybe I should have started with the big ones and gone backwards, because we're going to be talking about that now. So the next set of head torches is the all new Petzl Swift, which I got given at the UTMB this year to try, and I did try it, and I have some very interesting opinions on that. And then that is sort of going head to head with the Silva Trail Runner 4 Ultra. Now, these two torches are both really impressive, but both have their downsides, and I am going to tell you them now. So I have my nifty chart as well. I'm going to put it on the screen so that you can all read it with me. I feel like a teacher now. So the Swift, I should have just done two, shouldn't I? Can I move it down? No, I can't do that. I should have just... Hang on, let me just screen grab it and just put that bit up. Hang on 1 second. You don't mind, do you, if I just do this quickly? I'll just screen grab this. Right. Then wait for it to come. Come on. Here we go. Right. Let's move that here. Right, this is great. So now make that big, put that there. Fab. Now we can all see it together, and you can still see the torches. So we've got the Swift on this side here, £95, 100 grams, 900 lumens. But there's a catch, I'll get onto that in a minute. Silver Trail Runner 4 Ultra, £100, so £5 more expensive, 148 grams, so about 50 grams more, and 350 lumens. That doesn't sound right. Yes, that's right. 350 lumens, okay, and that goes, but that 350 lumens lasts you for 5 hours. So this Swift it's the first Petzl head torch in the range to start having what's known as reactive lighting, which is this little sensor here. So this will last, using on the reactive lighting setting, this will last from anything from 2 to 30 hours. If you just have it on its maximum setting, on standard lighting, so no reactivity going on, I'll explain what that is in a minute, then the highest it will go is 550 lumens, and that will run for 2 hours. So before I talk about the reactive lighting, etc., I'll just tell you about the battery charging itself. So the battery charging on the Swift is there's no core or anything like that. It's just a micro USB that goes in there. So that's this little charger just here, that one. That's your micro USB. You'll end up with tons of these if you buy a few head torches. And the Silver is the same micro USB, so that's just in there. You open its like little cat flap bit there and pop it back in. That's waterproof, well, water resistant like that. And this is the battery pack for the Silver. So again, we see from Petzl that we've got just the light, just the front light here. It's just the front bit, there's none at the back. And the thing that I really like about this strap, it's so comfy, it's got a double strap bit at the back, which is great if you have got a ponytail, so you can put the ponytail in those straps if you want. So it's very similar to the Tikka and also to the core, the Actik core, in its swiveling capacity like that, and it does have a little bit of upwards swivel, which is quite handy. Like I know, like, you know, if you're chatting to someone, I turn my head torch up like this, otherwise you've got to move it to the side and you might blind someone else. So if you turn it upwards, then it's quite handy. You can just turn it off. Yeah, so this is the Swift, and this is the Silver Trail Runner 4 Ultra. So it's a step up from the Trail Runner 4, is the Ultra version of it. Same swiveling going on. You can swivel it down and then a little bit up, but not as far up as this one, like so. And on the back, you've got the option here to have a little detachable red light as well for safety. So that comes off like this. It's just a little light, so you can actually attach that to anywhere that you like on your backpack, which is a nice touch. It weighs 13 grams and it takes 2 of those little penny-sized batteries. They're sort of thick penny-sized batteries. I'm not sure what you call them, CA22 or that kind of thing. And then the battery pack is on the back there. So in terms of comfort, this one is way comfier than the Silver at this level. So winning on comfort for this one. The price, there isn't much in it. The weight, there isn't much in it. It's the comfort that does it for me. And also, I'll just take you through the reactive lighting as well. So, oh, this one's also got a lock on it, so you can lock it like so. I'll just pull it across there, and then you can't turn it on. So this one's really bright. I won't blind you, but it's pretty bright, and it goes even brighter as well. Sometimes I think it's this Petzl one that you have to press it and then it does its thing, and then if you press it again it just turns off. It's not going to be this one now, is it? No, it just goes brighter. It's fine. Yeah, you'd be wise to play around with the pressing settings of any head torch before you go out, because sometimes you can be like, what does it do if I double click? So then this is the Silva Ultra Runner Trail Runner 4 Ultra, and although it like wins on the longevity of its battery life, it really doesn't win on this really cumbersome battery pack. And I think this is what Guy's talking about when he's talking about the battery pack slipping down, and I am totally with him on that. Like this, it feels okay, this battery pack, it feels okay, and it has got some anti-slip. It's got anti-slip stuff there, so it shouldn't fall down. But it's just a big square. It's just a big square block on the back of your head. And when there's the option to not have a big square block on the back of your head, which one are you going to choose? But the Silva does have some advantages over the Petzl in another sense. So I'm just going to take you through the lighting. So it's 900 lumens on like max power on its reactive lighting setting. So Petzl, in their upper range of torches, which is the Swift and the Now, which I'll come to in a minute, they have this thing called reactive lighting. And what that is that's a sensor just here, and it senses how much light there is around you, and it adjusts your torch light accordingly to what it thinks you need. Some people find this really brilliant. Other people hate it. So I am unfortunately of the camp of not liking it, because I'll tell you for why. So it's a really, really good idea because it saves a ton of battery life. So if you had this on 900 lumens, it only lasts for 2 hours, which is pretty good for 900 lumens. It's pretty good, isn't it? Oh no, sorry. It doesn't. No, scrap that. It doesn't last for 2 hours on 900 lumens at all. If you have it on 900 lumens, it lasts, with the reactive lighting on, it will last anything from 2 hours to 30 hours. And that's not at 900 lumens the whole time, because it's going to shift. It's going to be at like 100 lumens because you're walking through a street lamp or somebody else has got a head torch on. Or it's going to be at like 500 lumens because there's other people running around you, or because the moonlight, and it's just sensed that you don't need as much lighting. Now, I just don't trust anything to sense how much lighting I need and to change without telling me. Like, you know, it's like one of those cars that have windscreen wipers and they just come on when they think it's raining. So a bird could poo on your windscreen and it goes, oh, it's raining, and it smears the bird poo all over your window. Like, that's the kind of level of automation that I don't need in my life. So I wore this during the UTMB trip. You know, I made a film about the UTMB just recently. I was wearing this head torch because they gave it to me. And I actually turned off the reactive lighting on it because one, it happens really quickly, so it'll sense it, like you'll run under a street lamp, or the worst thing, it will send there'll be a sign, and you'll look at the sign and it will reflect the light back at you to the head torch, and it will think, there's loads of light here, I don't need light. So you're looking at the sign, the head torch suddenly dims, you look back at the trail and you can't see where you're going. And that happened to me while I was on this on the side of a pavement, and all of a sudden I was like, where's the curb? I can't see where I'm going now. So that was really annoying. The other thing is, in the mist, if it's slightly misty, I'm not talking about like mega mist, because this will happen with, you can't see very well in mist with any torches. With thick mist, you've got to hold it down here. But if it's slightly kind of condensation in the air, it will actually, the water droplets will reflect light back at this torch, and it will think that you don't need as much light. Also, when you're running with other people, it will it thinks, oh, you don't need as much light because you're running with other people. Now that's fine if they're sort of next to you and shining their torches where you're actually putting your feet. But if they're not, if they're behind you, they're actually, like, the torch is sensing lots of light, but actually they're casting a shadow, like they're behind you, casting your shadow ahead of you so you can't see. So you then have to just work out mid-run how to turn it on to standard lighting. So I can't be doing with reactive lighting. Other people might love reactive lighting. Like, that I haven't looked at the chat recently. There might be loads of people going, no, Claire, reactive lighting's amazing. But I think that reactive lighting is a step too far. I'm sorry, Petzl, that's just my honest opinion. I'll just take you through the stats though. So if you had it on reactive lighting, this lasts on 900 lumens, well, you know, what it thinks you need on max power for anything from 2 to 30 hours. Then if you put it on the next setting down, that's 300 lumens, that's 55 meters beam length, and it lasts from anything from 5 to 40 hours. That's the other thing with reactive lighting. You don't know how long it's going to last because you don't know what lighting levels it's going to say that you need. Danger. So then on the lowest setting, that's 100 lumens, that goes for 35 meters, and that's 10 to 50 hours. If you don't have it on reactive lighting, let's now do a comparison with it and the Silva head torch. So non-reactive lighting, 550 lumens, pretty good, hey? That's really, really bright. That's more than the brightness that I would recommend that you need for trail running. It's brilliant for technical rocky trails and a bit of navigation thrown in too. So that's a really good level of lighting. So 550 lumens, 110 meters beam for 2 hours. This one is 350 lumens, throws the light 75 meters, that lasts for 5 hours. So it's not as bright, but 350 lumens is ample for most trail running. 75 meters is also ample for most trail running, and 5 hours is very good. Then the next setting down, we've got 200 lumens on this one, 55 meters for 5 hours. That's pretty good. The next setting down for this one is 550 lumens for 50 meters for 10 hours. So that's double the length, but it's 50 lumens less. So a little bit less bright. It's just so complicated, isn't it? It's like, oh, which one do I choose? Don't worry, I'm going to tell you at the end which one to choose. Then last setting on this one is 10 lumens, which is basically, get me out of here setting. 12 meters, 100 hours. So you've got 100 hours to get down from that mountain, guys. So then this one, last setting, 50 lumens, a little bit more usable light, 20 meters, 90 hours of battery life. So tons and tons of time to get down from that mountain as well. The thing I should mention with this one is that you can also swap it for the battery pack in this one. So you can use this one, or you can use 3 rechargeable AA's. And yeah, you can have an extension cable for both as well. So if you find this battery pack really annoying, you can you've got an extension cable. Where is it? So there's an extension cable that you can get here, and it gives you one in the pack, and you can extend it. So you just unplug it from here like so, and instead of the torch plugging into, instead of the battery plugging straight into the, oh, have I done that wrong? Hang on, maybe this doesn't have an extension capability. No, it can't. No, what am I talking about? Oh, let me just check. This one has it. Yeah, no, I'm fine. Yeah, so what you do is you unscrew, let me just get this out of the way. Right, so what you do is you undo the battery like this, velcroed round, really easy to put on. Undo it, and you put the extension cable, you unclip it, and you put the extension cable here, and you put that in your bag. Extension cable comes out the back of your bag. You've got a head torch, which weighs literally nothing. That's about 30 grams, 40 grams maximum, maybe 50. This weighs 13. So that's how the extension cable works. It's here. That's for the other one anyway. So that's, I think there is an extension cable for that one. I'm pretty sure that there is. Yeah, there is. Yeah, so you can have an extension cable. I've written it in my notes. It definitely happens. So you can use that 3 AAA batteries or this. Yeah, so this, it's just like a little bit of a brick. I love Silva. I do love Silva head torches. I love the extended battery life. I love I love the battery. Yeah, basically I love the battery, but I don't like the shape of the battery. The shape of the battery is a square blob on the back of your head, and it's not comfy. But there are options for that, which I shall come to in the next one. Let me just see if there's any questions before moving on to the Now and the CrossTrail 5 Ultra. Sorry, this live is going on for quite some time. I didn't know it would take me this long to get through all the head torches. Haven't even answered any questions yet. Bear with me, everyone. And I'll probably make a chopped down 10-minute version of this review for anyone who doesn't want to hang around for an hour. Yeah, there's a massive daddy long legs running around. It's so warm. It's the UK and it's the end of September and it's blimmin' boiling outside. So I've got the window fully open because I have to have these lights on to make you be able to see anything in this room. And it's really boiling, and then all the insects are coming. So sorry about that. A slight distraction. Right, okay, so the next one is this one. So let's just check. Any questions? Right, okay. Only rechargeable, really, that's not a very good idea. Yeah, so KevJH was talking about the Swift. You can only recharge, and it actually just before the broadcast I had to charge it up, and I was charging it, and you can't use it whilst you charge it. So you can't just have you can't just plug it in here and have it sort of trailing on a portable charger, because it doesn't work. I'm gonna just try that again just so I can be sure about that. I've got my power plug here, got my micro USB plugged in here, so I'm going to check whether that actually does work, because if you could charge it and have it on at the same time, no, you can't charge it and have it on at the same time. See, that's on, but the moment I put the charger in, move this out of the way, you move out of the way, right, the moment I put the charger in, off. See, that is not a great design, is it? Like, if your torch ran out of battery, you wanted to charge it and you had a portable charger with you, you wouldn't want it to not be a torch whilst you charge it. So yeah, there must be a reason for that. There must be a reason why that doesn't happen. Should we try that with another torch? Let's see if this one works whilst being recharged. Let's just try this one, just to make everything fair. Let's got this one. Let's turn it on. It's turned on. Let's put it in. Still on. Still on, and it's charging. Now that is something that I didn't know before. See, that still works whilst it's charging. See, another plus point for Silva head torches there. They really thought things through. Oh, right, okay, who's still here? We've got more head torches to talk about. Right, the Now and the Swift. Yes. Guy Greytrex is mentioning the man buns for the parting here. Yep, a man ponytail or a man bun can fit in here. I think that's a great design. Yep, lots of people saying that the Silva head torch comes with an extra battery pack for AAA batteries. It can be swapped over. Yep, I've said that. Yep. Yep, Alex de Hotto says the little red light would be good to get on its own. Yeah, I think you can probably buy one of them from Petzl. He's cute. They're really cute. Like, and you can just put them on a backpack. They're really cute little lights. Cool. Okay, sorry for the silence. I'm just reading to just check if no one's got any questions. If anyone has got any questions and I haven't answered them yet, then do just let me know and I will re-answer them for you. There was one more thing that I had to say about this one, and I can't remember what it is now. Yes, the Swift replaces the Reactiks. So if you've got a Reactik or a Reactik Plus, they won't be for sale anymore. The Actik, yes. This is the Actik. Actik, yes. Reactik, no. The Swift is now replacing the Reactik torches. Okay, so the the Actik torches, they used to work with the app, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute, with the Petzl Nao. So the Swift doesn't work with the app. There's a Petzl app which you use with the Myo, and it used to work with the reactive, but it doesn't work with the app. Okay, so the final set of head torches, and don't worry, Guy, I am going to talk about the Silva Trail Speed 3XT very briefly as well at the end. But these two are like the daddies of trail running head torches. So there's the Petzl Nao Plus here. So you've all probably heard of that. There was a massive craze for this a couple of years ago when it first came out, and now they've got the Plus. Then in its major competitor from Silva is this one, which is the Silva CrossTrail 5. Okay, so I'm just gonna get the stats up for you. They are beasts of head torches. So, sorry, I should have done this earlier. Right, I will make a 10-minute film about this because no one wants to sit through an hour of this screen grabbing. So, I've been wearing both of these, and they are both really good and really bad, like in some ways and other ways. So, right, so first of all, oh, I just screen grabbed the blimmin' wrong bit, haven't I? Right, are you this one? Yes, okay, this one. Right, go. Okie dokie. Right, can you be before that? No, okay. Right, so we have, let's talk about the Petzl Nao first of all. It's £160. Let's talk about both. £160, this one. Turn and look at the camera, Petzl. This one is £164. The Nao is 196 grams versus this CrossTrail 5, which is 247 grams, so a good 50 grams heavier. But you don't have to add the little 10 gram torch on the back, but I have added it into this weight comparison because look at the back of the Petzl one, that's got a red light on the back, and I'll tell you about that a little bit in a moment. Some just really interesting stuff going on with these torches. Maybe I should have done one broadcast per torch because this is going on quite a long time. Oh, but I see 60 people are still watching, so it must be riveting. So we've got, with the Petzl, we've got 750 lumens on max power, and that's on the reactive lighting setting. With the Silva CrossTrail 5, we've got 500 lumens max power, and there is no reactive lighting on. Silva doesn't have any reactive lighting. They're very straightforward head torches. You press the button, they come on, then they go a bit brighter, then they go a bit brighter again, or it might be the other way around. You'll have to find out. So if this is not on reactive lighting, its maximum setting is 530 lumens. So that's why they're a good cross comparison, because they're around 500 to 550 lumens on their max power when not in reactive lighting. So the Nao, if you've got it on that reactive lighting setting, it lasts anything from 1.5 hours to 15 hours. Whereas if you've just got it on your 530 max setting, it only lasts for 1.5 hours. So if you don't like reactive lighting and you don't want to use it, then it only lasts for 1.5 hours. Whereas the Silva CrossTrail 5, weighing in a little bit more, 50 grams more, remember, that kicks out 500 lumens, so 30 lumens less, which is arguably not loads. That will last you for 6 hours on max power. So massive, massive difference there, especially if you're into those longer runs. So let's talk about the batteries now. So this one, the Nao, is rechargeable, and the battery is on the back, as you can see. This is the first Petzl head torch that actually has the battery on the back, so it's a little bit different. And then the Silva has a battery pack on the back there. It is a battery pack. It also has a 4x AA option included, and that is included in the packet. So you get Oh, can I find it and show you? Where is it? Oh, let me see. It looks like this. It's, oh, sorry, press the button. So this is the other alternative battery pack that you can get for the Silva CrossTrail, and I think it's included. Let me just check. Yes, it's included. Yes, it's in the box. It's included, and that takes 4 AAA batteries. So you can carry this with you, and you can put more batteries in it, or you can just use AAAs. Like if you've got ultra to do and you need to take spare batteries. Also very handy is you can press that and you can see how much battery life is still left. I should have mentioned that with the Swift actually, that there is a thing on the Swift which tells you how much, oh that's not the Swift, it tells you how much battery life you've got left, and it tells you on this bit here, there, that tells you how much battery life you've got left just at the start. There you go. So there you go. That tells you, that's really useful. Oh, turn off. Oh. Right, okay, that's off. But the Silva doesn't have that in the equivalent for the Swift. But it does have, if it's charging, it'll have green there if it's fine, and if you need to charge it, if you put it in, it'll have red light on there, so it'll have a red light when it needs charging, but it doesn't have the countdown thing, which is quite handy. So anyway, so back to what we were talking about before, which is the different type of batteries. So this doesn't work with AAAs or NEAs, it's just rechargeable. And again, you can't recharge this whilst you're wearing it, because the way that you recharge it is, this took me, I had to actually read the instructions to work this out. But, it says press. It says push, but actually it's not a push, it's like it's a pull in my mind. So you've got this thing just here. And it says push here, but actually it's more like can you see that? A pull with my thumb there. So you pull it and then this comes up like this, and then, oh, it's all a bit like vaffy, but then the battery comes off, and it's a USB charger for this. So what you get is one of these. USB to USB charger. So this is the head torch just here, and you get this charger here, and you plug them in like so, ta-da, and then you've got USB at the end. So there's no way that you can run about with that, like, unless you have an extension cable, which you could probably buy. You can get an extension cable to put the battery in your pack. Yes, you can get that, but it's extra. It doesn't come with it like the Silva one does. But let's just check if you can power the torch whilst charging, because that was a good test earlier. So let's do that. Oh, dear. Cables everywhere now. Right, okay, so we've got our things here. Let's check. I feel a bit like a mad scientist, this issue. Oh, I've lost that thing now. Was that it? Yes, that's it. Okay, so let's try and plug it in. Right, let's plug it in. Right. Can we turn it on whilst it's charging? No. Nope. Can't. Let me just demonstrate that it is actually working. See, look at all this gizmo and gadgetry. It's like, oh, quite complicated. This is like the only Petzl head torch that's a bit more complicated. So there you go, that's back on, just to show you that it is charged. Yeah, see, there you go. And there's the red light there at the back. So then you scroll through the settings, and I think to hold it, oh no, oh, there. They're all different. They're all like, turn it, like for the Silva one you hold it to turn it off. For the Petzl one you hold it to change mode, and you don't hold it down to turn it off. So just confusing which one. It has got a battery level there as well, which will show you when it turns on. The silver one, can you charge it whilst wearing it? Let's just test it. I reckon you probably can, because where's the charger? Gone. Yeah, here we go. I reckon you possibly can charge it whilst wearing it. So if we connect it's got a bit of a different connector, the silver one. It's not USB at all, it just gives you its own charging thing. There we go, that's connected. Oh no, this is the extension cable. I'm doing it all wrong now. Right. Oh, that's because I've got totally confused. Okay, so this is where you put the extension cable in, and the battery, there is a bit on the battery that you plug into the actual battery. Where is that? Why can I not find it? How do you recharge this battery? I'm going mad now. I just can't remember how to do anything anymore. Oh, it's here. It's here. I'm not going mad. Right, it's here. So, micro SD. Forget what I just said. Oh dear. I'm going to have to do a 10-minute version of this, aren't I? Just to avoid all confusion. So, that's going in there to charge it. Get in there. That's quite tricky to get that in there, actually. This is all good testing. Right, okay, so finally managed to get that in there to see whether the torch will go on if the battery is charging. And yes, it will. I believe that's a major thing. I think that's really major, that you can charge the silver head torches whilst you're using them, whereas you can't recharge your Petzl head torch whilst you're using it. I just think that puts miles and miles on silver for ultra running. I just think that's a really, really good thing. So that's the charging. Right, where were we? Someone remind me. So what else did we need to talk about these ones? Probably good. I'll just run through like the comparison of specs for you. So on reactive lighting, you've got on this one 750 lumens, and you've got 140 meters beam length, and then you've got about 6.5 hours average. So you've got like 1.5 to 15 hours, depending on what other lights around you. Then you can have it on the lower middle setting, which is 320 lumens, 85 meters for 15 hours. Then and that's all you get on the reactive lighting settings. So then now we're going to compare the non-reactive lighting settings for both of them, because if you don't get on with reactive lighting, like I don't, then is there any point buying a torch with reactive lighting? So we've got on the Petzl, we've got maximum of 530 lumens, whereas with the silver we've got 500 lumens. So they're both kind of 330 meter beam length, but the non-reactive lighting on this for 500 or so lumens only lasts for an hour and a half, whereas this one lasts for 8 hours. I said 6 before, but I've put 8 in my notes, so I'm going to have to check that. But anyway, on the second setting down, you get 120 lumens on non-reactive lighting with the Petzl. But you get on the second setting down with this one, you get 250 lumens. The beam length is 80 meters, this one's 65. This lasts for 10 hours and this lasts for 8 hours. So loads more battery life with the silver head torch as standard, really. You also get a low battery warning with both of them, and on this one you get an automatic change to the low light setting. So but then we come to the obvious, which is which one looks lighter. it's only 50 grams heavier, this one, but it feels much heavier on the head than this one. So I'm just going to put this one on, and you can see that the back of the battery here is curved. It's kind of head-shaped, isn't it? So I'm going to put this on, and you get the option of this strap here. You get the option of the strap over the top, and that is what will stop the battery pack from bouncing down your head. So you can just adjust it quite easily like that. You've got the same sort of thing going on. Petzl always have this sort of thing. You can't, there's no upward motion there. There's just down to about there. So you kind of always ahead, no kind of straight down. The red bit is where the reactive lighting is. So without risking blinding you, I'm going to just try and demonstrate. So that's the reactive lighting. So if I turn off my light, be able to see it a little bit better. So this is on reactive lighting. So if I take my hand away, that means that it can see the rest of the light in the room and it thinks I need this level of light. Then if I put my hand here, it thinks there's no light anymore because I'm blocking the sensor and it's giving me loads of light. And then I take it away, but look how quickly that happens, okay? So then it senses some light and it dims your light. It dims the light really, really quickly. And that's one of the things that I don't like about reactive lighting. It just happens so fast. And if you didn't want it to happen, all of a sudden you can't see anything. And that's what gives me the willies about reactive lighting. I'm sorry, Petzl, but it's not my cup of tea. However, it's really comfy. Like, what I really, really want is silver kind of build and all the features of silver, but in the design of the Petzl head torches, because I just find them really, really comfy, whereas the silver ones are just like, it's like having a brick on the back of your head. But that's because you're not supposed to carry it in on the back of your head. The other thing I do want to point out with this is you see the adjustment here. If you pull it, it just goes like that. So that's not one-handed adjustment. And if you've watched any of my backpack reviews, you'll know that I'm all about the one-handed adjustment. So when I pull this, I want to just be able to pull it. I don't want to have to use two hands to adjust my head torch to keep it down there. So I think that what Petzl should have done is they should have glued this down so that when you pull it, you're just pulling the head torch to adjust it. You don't have to use two hands there. I hope I've explained that well enough. But for a £160 head torch, I just think that's a tiny bit of an oversight there, that you can't just pull that. Like if I pull it with one hand, yeah. Okay, so but apart from that, it feels really, really comfy. It's got a really, really high lumen count for its maximum setting. So let's just put the silver one on in comparison. And then I need to talk about the red lights as well. Oh, I should have done two broadcasts. So this is the silver one, and no reactive lighting, just on, off, not on. So, oh, you have to hold it down. So bright, not as bright, not as bright, even more, flashing, hold it down to turn it off, like that. And the green just tells you that there's good battery life there. The battery life also shows at the back. So this, like, it feels like a bit of a block on the back of your head, but it actually isn't too bad. Like, for the length of battery life, I'm like, yeah, that's good. But when you start running with this on the back of your head, it really does kind of like bob around a bit. You don't want to be running with that on the back of your head. You want to get that extension cord, which they do give you in the pack with it, and you want to be putting that in your backpack. And then you've got like hardly anything on your head, and it's really, really cool. You've just got a bit of wire faff going on. So, but even for all that wire, I think I'd go just for the battery life. I think I'd go for that wire faff, because if you're doing an ultra or just anything really where you don't want to just suddenly be without a head torch that doesn't charge on the move, then I'd probably go for silver for that. The other thing, which is really important to mention, is the app as well. So silver, the Nao has an app, so you can adjust the brighting settings. There's 3 different settings that you can put it on, and you can adjust those settings. Like personally, I can't be bothered to faff around with an app. I want someone to just choose the correct settings for me. I want to turn my torch on and I want to go. I don't want to be bothered with an app. But some people love technology, and they love faffing around with kit, and they love an app for their torch. I'll tell you a secret. The PR said that the app uptake is not high, and that's why they've got rid of it for the Swift. So the reactive, which was what the Swift replaced, that was also you could change the light levels in the app. They've got rid of that for the Swift, and this is the only Petzl head torch that now uses the app. The app will also tell you battery life, etc. It's cool for people who like using an app, and I have got a little video of the Petzl guy showing us how the app works, which is 3 minutes long, which I'm going to play in a minute. But the one thing about the app that, like, because you can just not use it, it's fine, like it comes with good factory settings, but the one thing about the app that I find really strange is that you can only operate this red rear light on the Petzl through the app. So you can't just, like, say you're in the middle of a run and you want to turn this off, you have to go into your pocket and you have to use your phone to do that, which seems ridiculous. Whereas on here, you've just got your little thing here, which you can just press like that. So you've seen that when I turn this on, this turns on immediately as well, just because that's the setting that it's on. So if you didn't want that to happen, then that's kind of annoying, isn't it? So that's one downside about the app. Yes, so which head torch should you buy in all of this? Well, if you want to run a really long way with a really bright light, this one, I would say. This is the CrossTrail 5, but I would put the battery pack in your backpack. And then if you are just starting out with trail running, or kind of intermediate trail running, I would go for the new Actik core, because it's 450 lumens, and it's really simple, and it's just a really nice looking torch. And it lasts for a good amount of time, a couple of hours there on 450 lumens. Equal to that really is the Silva Trail Runner 4 Ultra, a really, really good head torch. I've used this a lot in the past, and previous incarnations of it as well. And what I would do is I would stick your 3 AA batteries in there so that the battery pack looks a bit more like this, and it's just a little bit lighter and less like a big square block on the back of your head. If Silva just made their batteries a little bit longer and a little bit more body shaped, then they would feel so much more comfy on the back of the head. But because they stick out so far, you've just got that bit of wobble that just is not as good, and makes you feel like you need to faff around and put extension cables on and put it in the back of your pack. So those are the ones I would go for. Like this torch, the Nao, is really, really popular, and I can see why, because it's super comfy and it's got a really high maximum lumen output. But if you really look at the stats and compare it with the Silva CrossTrail 5, then the stats don't, like, if you want longevity from your torch, you want high powered, you want 500 lumens for 6 to 8 hours, then you go for the Silva CrossTrail 5, don't you? So I think in terms of battery life, I made a list actually of pros and cons between Silva and Petzl, and overall this was my thoughts. So the Silva, it's got a bulky battery, it doesn't look as streamlined, the head strap is harder to adjust, and there's no split for a ponytail. But it can pivot, the light can pivot right down. It's also got, I didn't mention this before, but it's also got more included mount options for multi-sport. So you can get you've got an extension cable in that pack, you've got a bike mount, a handlebar mount, and you've got a helmet mount as well. And there's also other battery options, like it gives you just for standard the 4x AA or the 3x AA other options. It doesn't have reactive lighting, which may or may not be a plus point depending on your viewpoint. Personally, for me, reactive lighting isn't a good thing, but some other people will swear by it, and there must be loads of people who like it, because Silva still make reactive lighting head torches. With the Silva, some batteries are interchangeable between torches, so the CrossTrail 5 Ultra and the Trailspeed 3XT can take the same battery. So there's some nice cross comparisons there, and you can you've got kind of like double up batteries if you buy both of them. In the Silva, the rear light is detachable, which is a cute feature. But could you lose it? Like it's fairly well stuck on there. and it does seem like it's perhaps an afterthought, but then again it gives you more options, like do you want it or not want it, so it's kind of a plus point there. The other biggie for Silva is that you can use it while you're charging it, so that's and it seems to you can use it whilst charging, and that's a major plus point, I think, for especially for longer things, for longer runs. So the Petzl is overall slightly lighter, slightly less expensive, but the battery life is always significantly less than the Silva. Sometimes it has a bit more limited range of movement in its lighting. It can go up but not all the way down. And you have to purchase those extra mounts and extra battery accessories. So it's a little bit, does then make it a little bit more expensive if you want like extendable cables for batteries, and if you want extendable cables, and if you want like things like bike attachments and things like that. Petzl Silva is a lot more multi-sport. And reactive lighting is a big thing for the more expensive, the kind of the higher end Petzl torches. And if you like it, that's brilliant. But you don't know how long it's going to last. It reacts really quickly, which can be hard to react to yourself. It does save battery life, but it will just reduce for like things where you didn't want it to reduce your lighting. So like reflecting off signs. If a photographer takes a photo of you and has a really big flash, that's happened to me before. If you're running with others next to you, also if you've got any street lighting or mist as well. The speed of the reaction to that lighting is scarily fast, so you don't want to be wondering where to put your feet because your light's suddenly gone out. That's the thing I don't like about it. And also the red light on the Nao is only controllable via the app. I don't understand why that is a thing. And you can't use Petzl head torches whilst they're charging. So I think the Petzl headbands are really comfy, and they're really easy to tighten, apart from the Nao, which needs a single-handed toggle to operate it. So like I like the Petzl designs better, like the actual body work of the torch, but the actual integral structure and the battery life of the Silva head torches is by far superior. So I think that looks wise Petzl win, but actual performance wise Silva are going to have to win. So I would recommend buying the Silva Trail Runner 4 Ultra. That is one of my favourites, and you can have the batteries in there, or put this in your battery pack pack. Or I really do have a lot of love for the Petzl Actik core, the new 450 lumen one, because that's just so simple. It's really simple. There's no faff with it. So these two are my faves. So I'm going to put these up here. Oh no, that's not it. There we go. These two are my favourites. I think that you should go out and buy these two, if nothing else. And if you want a super bright one, then you have got a choice between the Nao and the CrossTrail 5. I would go, if you're really serious about your running and you're doing ultra running, this is the one to go for because of the battery life for sure. But you will have to carry that battery elsewhere because that is not comfortable on your head for any length of more than like 2 hours, I wouldn't say. So yeah, I hope that's given you a bit of an insight. I did get some questions on Patreon and on the Patreon exclusive Facebook group. So I'm just going to quickly whiz through those now. I may have answered a few of them already, but I just do need to answer those questions. So there's a couple of people actually wanted to know if you can get spares in case they fail. So Carl Wise and Kevin Hall wanted me to recommend a spare in case one fails. So I would recommend for that, like, you can get the Petzl E-light, you know, like the really tiny light that the battery lasts for like 10 years and you can use it as an emergency lighting. I think it's only about 100 lumens or something like that, which the one that I've used in the past wasn't good enough to use as a torch. So if you're wanting spare, if the race organisers say you have to have a whole nother torch, then the one I would take would I think it's going to have to be the Petzl Tikka, because despite the less battery life on it, I'm just really unhappy about this flopping all the way down. I love the battery life in this, but they really need to change the design on that, because that is not good, flopping all the way down like that. It just doesn't feel safe to me, and I've been wearing it, and I will continue to wear it to reassess that, but it's just, I don't like that. Kev JH says, do I win a prize? Yes, you win the prize. I mentioned you on the channel. Hey. And then the next question, Guy Greater X wants to know about the Silva Trail Speed 4XT, which is new, and they did launch that at the UTMB. And he also wants to know about the detachable rear light, which I have covered. Yes, it is detachable, little rear light there. So I do have the Silva Trail Speed 3XT. It looks like this, and it's here. And this is a really super bright head torch. And the reason I haven't covered it in this range of head torches is because it doesn't compare with any of the Petzl ones, so it wasn't like really a fair comparison. I'm just going to give you the specs though. It's quite expensive. It's £245. This is the Trail Speed 3XT. The one that they just launched new at the UTMB is the 4XT. But I was with Petzl for the UTMB, so I didn't get a silver one. Anyway, this weighs 300 grams because it's got this beefy battery pack to it. And it comes with an extension cable, and it comes with mounts for bike and helmet too. There we go. You can wear it on the back of your head, and you do get a strap so that you can wear this on the back of your head, but I wouldn't. I would just put it in a pack because it's heavy to wear it on your head. It's just got 3 simple settings. It's got 800 lumens, 130 meter beam. Get this, 5 hours on 800 lumens. That's more than Petzl can provide. So then the next setting down is 400 lumens, which is more than a lot of the other torches and more than you need probably. I would probably be really happy running around with 400 lumens for most of my trail running. So that's 70 meters at 400 lumens with 7.5 hours of burn time, so that's really impressive. And then you've got the 80 lumen setting, 40 meters for 10 hours. That's the kind of setting. I've got low battery setting. You do get a low battery warning, and then you go to auto low lighting, and I think that's a really nice feature actually, because you don't always keep track of time very well when you're doing these trail runs. So it's really nice that Silva have that auto low light setting. So that is the Silva Trail Speed 3XT there for you, Guy. I don't think you need that much light. I think you're fine with the middle end torches. I actually think that for most things most people will be fine with the Trail Runner Ultra 4 or something like the Swift. So yeah, that I think you'll be fine. No one needs that unless you're mountain biking, I don't think, or going over really gnarly ground. So then Baz Green just wanted me to quickly mention waist torches, or like how do you clip them to a belt. So I haven't really worn any waist torches. I know they're becoming more and more of a thing, but at the moment none of the major torch brands like Silva, Petzl, they don't do a waist torch. They don't have a way of really easily attaching it to a waistband. I mean, you've got you've got this, you can sort of clip it on, but it's not very secure. The best thing that you could do is with one of the Silva ones, you could get the bike attachment, and you could bike attach it on. Instead of to a handlebar, you could attach it to your waist strap, something like that. But you can actually get waist torches. There's one at Decathlon, and it's sort of like, it comes over like that, and it's in the middle of you like that. It's a bit like a tiny backpack, but with a light in the middle. I haven't used them much. But they do seem like quite a good idea for sort of lighting just floodlit in front of you, especially for road running. I know quite a few people at my running club use them, but I haven't actually used them, so I think that's a whole different review. I'll get a few in over the course of the next couple of months hopefully, and do a different waist torches test. They are cool though, and I know that like the one that I tried was from Decathlon, and that was a good one. So if you are interested, then pop there and get one of those, I reckon. Then Johan Britz wants to know the best AAA light on the market. I would say that is going to be the Silva Trail Runner 4 Ultra. At the moment it's just sporting this battery pack on it, but if you can use this battery pack on it as well. You can just unplug it from there and put it into your Ultra 4. This is just the Trail Runner. This only comes with the AAA batteries, but if you want a bit of a boosted output, then there's this battery, and you can also use the AAA with it. So that's what I'd go for, the Trail Runner 4 Ultra with additional AAA battery option. Hope that makes sense. Yes, Alex Dehoto says some races require replacement batteries. Beth Strat. Oh, I can't read my own writing. Some races require replacement batteries. What's the best strategy? He's about to do the Maverick Dark Series trail races. So yes, I would say for replacing batteries and for charging on the move, you definitely want to be with Silva. So the Silva Trail Runner 4 Ultra is just looking more and more impressive as we go on, just for its versatility, its burn time, and its just the way you can charge batteries on the move. And then finally, Kate Shepherd says she wants a torch with a wide beam, a good tilt, and very lightweight. So for that, I reckon, unless you're running really, really far, Kate, I'd probably go for the Petzl Tikka. It's got a really nice wide beam, or the Actik core as well, which you can also use with AAAs. So I would say this one might be good for you, like especially if you're not running extremely fast. So the Tikka or the core, they're super light, and they what else? Yeah, they have a really wide beam. They're, rather than, you remember the spotlight of the intelligent lighting, these have a really wide beam. Okay, so I think I've answered all the patron questions there. Unless somebody very sneakily put something on at 29 minutes past 8. I'm just going to check the live chat now, because I'm aware that I have been chuntering on for a while now, and just make sure that I've covered everything. We've got some different opinions on what level of lumens is comfortable enough for trail running. So Rob Budd says that 350 lumens is comfortable enough, whereas Marketor says that 100 to 150 is enough. I think it depends on the roughness of your terrain that you're going over. It also depends on the moonlight as well. Like you can get really dark nights and really light nights. Like I've been on Great Gable when I sported Scott Jurek doing his Bob Graham round. We were coming off Great Gable and it was getting dark. It was 11 p.m. and we were not using head torches at all because the moon was so full and bright. So it does depend on those. It also depends on your eyes as well. Like if you're young, you don't need as much light. If you've got bad eyesight, you'll need a bit more light. So it does depend on a whole raft of things, but 350 lumens is probably a good ballpark for if you've not bought a head torch before and you don't know what you need. 350 lumens is a good amount of light for trail running. I remember back in the day that like 200 lumens was really, really bright back in the day. So and we all used to cope with that. So 300 lumens, I would say, is really, really good, decent level of brightness for trail running. Somebody telling me to zap the mosquito. It's a daddy long legs. Graham Howes is just saying he wouldn't recommend anything lower than 250 lumens. Yep, I would tend to agree with you there, unless you're doing road running. Okay, lots of chat about the mosquitoes. So just to confirm, the only difference between the Silva Trail Runner 4 and the Silva Trail Runner 4 Ultra is the ugly rechargeable battery. Yes, I think that is correct. Yes, I've said in my notes, same as the Trail Runner 4 Ultra, but no rechargeable battery, just an extension cable for the triple AA. Yes, that is the case. Okay. Marlo M says, just toss the Petzl, it's a gimmick. I think he probably means the reactive lighting there. I think that I don't think it's a gimmick. I think it's like, they're trying to help, aren't they? Like, they're trying to give you more light for longer by sort of regulating what you need, because it's true, you don't always need the same kind of light setting, but that's why you've got a pressy button. Just press the button. You've got 3 different light settings, so you can do it manually yourself. It's like the windscreen wipers on your car. You've got different settings. You don't need the car to know whether it's raining or not. So I just think, use the pressy buttons. It doesn't take much just to go press like that. It's not that hard, and you don't do it that often. I'm just really not a fan of reactive lighting. Great. Oh, Graham House says, have you ever used an illuminating vest? Our opinion. Yes, I have. I've got one. I got one last year. I should probably do I'll probably link to that review. I think I've reviewed it. I'll put it in the description below. Yes. Yes is the answer. And yeah, I think it's really good for road running. It wasn't for lighting. It was just for being seen. Okay. Lots of good chat. I wish I could talk and see the chat at the same time. I've not really worked out this live thing just yet. Yeah, so Alex DeHoto saying the Silva look industrial. Yeah, the Silva head torches do look industrial, don't they? Like, they perform better, but they're not as comfy. It's just like, why can't there be like instead of Silva and Petzl, why can't they be Pilva or Petzl? Then they'd just have best of both worlds, wouldn't they? Great. Okay, so are they waterproof? Right, a good question here. Dr. Hoser says, are they waterproof? I would not take these torches and submerge them, but you can wear them in the rain and they will be fine. So they're what you'd call water resistant rather than waterproof. Waterproof means that they have to be submergible to like 10 meters or so. But water resistant means that you can wear them in the rain and not worry about them. So yeah, you don't have to worry about waterproofing these. Just wear them in the rain, they'll be fine. I'd dry them off afterwards, but they're going to be fine. Like, they've got some openings and stuff for where you put the USB in, but most of them will be covered. Like the silver one is covered just here, see there, that's water resistant little covering there. The Swift is a little bit not covered, so it's at the bottom there, so that's on the base of the torch, so you shouldn't get much water ingress in there. Okay. Yeah, lots of love for the Silva here. Guy Greytrek says USB to USB is so old school. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It is. And yep, there's lots of good questions there. I'm just seeing if there's any more questions. If not, I am going to go. So I'm tired now. Yes, so that is head torches. I've been through the whole range, the Silva range, the Petzl range. Tell me in the comments below which you prefer, if you've used both of them, if you've used one of them, if you're using one of them and you think, oh, I might try that one now. So tell me which head torch you think that you should be using. Me personally, I really like the Petzl Actik Core, and I really like the Silva Trail Runner 4 Ultra. But I would perhaps pop that battery pack into a pack. It's okay on the head, it's kind of okay. But just for general, just popping out for an hour-long run, then you can get away with the Petzl Tikka. It's like the lightest, cheapest of the lot. So I hope that's been useful for you. I will probably do a shorter review of these head torches, because I do understand that not everybody wants to watch an hour and 45 minutes of all the head torches being shown. But thank you very much to kind of 50 people who were watching live. I very much appreciate that. It's been great to see you all on the live chat. Thank you for staying with me for far longer than I usually do a live broadcast for. Probably should have just done the torches 2 by 2 by 2, but thanks for watching. Next week I hope to have a really, really special guest. I'm just waiting for confirmation back from them, and I am really, really excited if this takes off. So stay tuned for more from Wild Ginger Running. Check out the description below for links to buy any of these torches. As I said before, please do go and support your local independent running shop. But if you're not going to do that, then click on my Amazon links, because it does give me a tiny, tiny kickback. Also, if you're going to buy anything on Amazon, click on one of those links first, because it doesn't matter what you buy, it gives me a kickback. So if you're thinking of buying, I don't know, some like present for your grandma on Amazon, click on one of my links first, then go to, in the same window, go to your grandma's present, buy that, and gives me a kickback too. So it's a nice way for free for you to support my channel. So what else do I need to say before we go? Oh yes, Patreon. Yes, absolutely fantastic to have all your support on Patreon. Thank you so much. It's been really cool to see what you've been up to over the weekend. If you want to be in the Patreon gang, and if you want me to give your questions priority in these live chats and to the athletes, then do sign up on Patreon. There's loads and loads of perks on there, like you get entered to the weekly competition, the monthly competition to win £400 worth of trail running kit, and you also get on the higher tiers, you get access to my coaching as well. I'm a personal trainer as well, so you get access to my like coaching and like training advice, and yeah, you just get preferential treatment, and you get to be in the Facebook group and the Strava group as well, and the competition and meetups and like the odd thing. Oh, I'm sending everyone a Christmas present as well. I'm really excited about that. Okay, so I think that that is everything. And thank you so much for watching. Oh, it's so nice that everyone's like, oh, like Dr. Hoser said, thanks for the answer. Guy Greytrex says, thanks, great evening. Ib Eric Soderblom says, see you later. John Gardner, hey John, says another great review. Side by side beam comparison taken after dark. I'll put that into the 10-minute review as well. Graham House says, thank you, Claire, good night. I think I've made a new friend there. Abby Norman says she thinks she might know the guest. Ooh, yeah, write it in the Facebook group, Abby, see if you've got it right. And lots of, yeah, Leon Young saying nice reviews, thanks Claire. Yeah, brilliant, thank you so much. You need a bigger giraffe. Oh yes, yeah, I got that from South Africa when I went to do the Otter Trail with Ricky Lightfoot. He did a bungee jump and I bought a small giraffe. Yeah, everyone knows who Ricky Lightfoot is, don't they? I've interviewed him at Skyline Scotland this weekend, so yes, so you'll be hearing from Ricky soon on the channel. And Masiek Nowicki says, great reviews, at least I know a little bit more about headlamps and which one to choose, thanks. Oh, I'm so glad that this has all been useful. Alex Dehoto also says, cheers Claire. And without further ado, I am going to sign out now, because it is now an hour and 47 minutes live broadcast. This is the longest one I've ever done. Congratulations everybody for watching. Thank you so much. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks guys. Night.